Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back! This is going to be game number 3 between WhiteRa and Nerchio. Two of my favorite players to watch from the EU servers. And if you guys didn't get a chance, you gotta pause right now and go back and check out game number 1 and game number 2 of this series because they were some pretty good ones. Not much I can really say. In the first game you saw Nerchio do a lot of basically a Ling Muta build on 3 bases, which was pretty cool. But WhiteRa was really expert at handling that. He basically used Blinkstalkers and Storms to deal with the army, and then if you go and watch game 2, you saw Nerchio trying to sort of do a little bit of a different attack route, and he went with kind of a nice mix of Lings and then Roaches, and then he looked like he was going for some kind of an air build, but then he backed off and went back to Roaches, and somehow WhiteRa was able to just masterfully defend every attack that he did and put himself back ahead in the game. And so that was a really cool one to see. Now this is going to be game 3. WhiteRa's up 2-0 in the series. This was a show match for Play Him, and this game is going to be ESV Cloud Kingdom. And I have never played on this map myself because, you know, it's not in the ladder pool. But some notable features of this map are that you have a pretty readily defensible natural, but if you want to take your third, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because there are lots of ways that your third base can get attacked from. There are also destructible rocks that block the sort of the fastest route to get to where you're going, so you could sort of try and build some stuff here to defend, but it's a pretty cool map. What I really like about this map actually is the tile set, I guess you would call it, where it's like kind of you have this kind of purplish glow in the background, which I think is pretty cool. I just like the whole feel. It feels like you're really on an alien world, you know, duking it out. Nerchio trying to throw down a hatchery to do his little trick here, but WhiteRa expertly is going to be, oh boy, so blah, down goes that drone. And WhiteRa's going to be getting down his Nexus right on time. Meanwhile, Nerchio, he's at 18 supply. He's going to double extractor trick to get a couple Zerglings out to try and get map control. And he does have his expansion coming down as well. So again, these are two players. You won't see them cheese very often or anything, but you will see them be very good in the mid game, and very good, of course, in the late game. What are some other notable features of this map? Well, there's no gold expansion that I know of, but there's these weird expansions over in the corners. So yeah, I gotta say I'm excited to see how the game kind of plays itself out on this map. If Nerchio is gonna go for kind of a Ling Muta build, there's kind of a lot of no man's land in this middle part with these towers where you can kind of set up ambushes, which is pretty cool for the Zerg player, but it's also, it can be good too for the Protoss because there's all these ledges, and ledges of course are good for Colossi. Anyway, Nerchio, again, he's able to get into WhiteRa's base with a couple of Lings, which we saw happen again. This happens again from last time, and this time he will actually take out a probe. But WhiteRa, he's going to be dealing with this pretty well. He's pulling off a few units, but this is going to be denying some mining time. It's going to be doing a little bit of damage, and something else is causing WhiteRa to waste APM and kind of messing with his head a little bit. But of course, well, WhiteRa, he's an older guy, and the only reason I say that is that I guess the older guys are a little bit unflappable. You know, it's hard for them to panic as much. And WhiteRa really good at dealing with Zerglings using nothing but probes. So Nerchio is going to be taking this opportunity with these two Lings to, I guess, just, you know, expand it to his heart's content and pump as many drones as possible. Let me get the production tab up and running there. And he's still running around. What this also allows him to do, like I think I mentioned this in the last game, it's looking like a bit of a mirror. What this allows him to do is see everything that's going on in WhiteRa's base. So if he throws down a Stargate, he'll see it. If he throws down, you know, some weird build, you know, he'll see it. So that's, you know, another thing that I would recommend for all players is, you know, there's a little interesting dance move right there. One thing I'd recommend for all players is to play a day in somebody else's shoes. Like, you don't have to go on ladder and start playing as Terran if you're like a Zerg or something, just to get a feel for their build orders. But, you know, maybe you want to go on team games and play some random, so that just so you get a feel for what the build orders look like for different builds, so that if you scout your opponent, you know exactly what kind of build they're going to be doing, just from looking at when they're placing their buildings. So that would be my only bit of advice for everybody, not just Zerg or not just Protoss. Because figuring out what your opponent is doing is paramount in this game. Nerchio flying in here with an Overlord. He's not going to see anything in the main because WhiteRa Stargate is right next to his natural. So, again, it looks like WhiteRa is going to be going with the very similar build from the last game, where he throws down a Stargate, starts doing some harassment, and then transitions into warp gates. And that's what he's going to be doing here. Probably just delaying these warp gates to try and not get everything scattered out, but I bet Nerchio knows exactly what's coming his way. So, and again, we see late Ling speed for Nerchio. Nerchio doesn't seem to like upgrades very much. I'll just say that. So there is a Roach Warren down, and Spore Crawlers coming up with his expansions. So he should be able to deal with the Void Ray coming his way. He should have a pretty good idea that that's in fact what is coming his way. And some interesting positioning here. And WhiteRa's just going to be fighting right in, but it's, that Void Ray needs to back off. Yeah. But you can abuse the terrain a little bit in this level. There's some nice spots you can hide units. Taking in a creep tumor right there. And he's going to be backing away with this Void Ray. Nerchio, in the meantime, what is he going to be going for? I'd like to see him go with either go for a Roach build or something. He's throwing down a ton of gas right now, so I would expect to see... he's got a lot of gas saved up. I'd expect to see an Infestor with a Baneling Nest and a Spire. Okay, so it's going to be Ling Muta for Nerchio. And WhiteRa again. He's got, let's see, he's got a Stargate. And he's got, how many warp gates? Is that 6 warp gates? 7 warp gates. So, we're going to have I guess it's going to look similar to the first game, where we saw Ling Muta against mostly gateway units, except in this game there's going to be a few Void Rays adding some uncertainty. Now, WhiteRa is going to be trying to put some pressure onto Nerchio's third. The Zerglings are going to be in a good spot to deal with this. This Queen is not, though. She needs to back off. So with some good micro, Nerchio should be able to focus fire the Void Rays with his Queens. If I was him, I'd be getting more Queens over here. Yeah, that's what he's doing. And WhiteRa moving in right now, and if these Queens go down, it's going to be pretty bad for him because he's not going to have anybody to do with the Void Rays. Baneling's coming in, exploding on some Zealots, but not the best trade right there. Only a few Zealots getting hit. And great force fields from WhiteRa. Wow, he's able to take out the Banelings without anything going on. And now Nerchio's just in a really bad spot. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do about this attack, and he's losing all of his units. So, wow. Just some great force field placement by WhiteRa just really allows him to essentially take out this base almost for nothing. And now Nerchio is going to be moving in to try and stop this attack with a few Roaches and some Spore Crawlers. Well, will it be enough? I don't know. WhiteRa now choosing to back off with the Stalkers. More Roaches coming in. Spore Crawlers trying to get into position. 2 great more force fields. Now Lings are coming around to try and attack his units. Another Queen coming in. The Void Rays are just doing a lot of damage. Only a few units left for Nerchio. He's going to have to abandon his base, it looks like. And now his Overlords are in a really bad spot. He can't even back off at this point. And he's just going to just keep this gravy train rolling. And with the added bonus of those units, he's going to get some help there. That hurts because that was 300 miles, man. Here we go. A few Banelings exploding in a good spot. Will be enough for Nerchio to hold off this attack from WhiteRa. He's still ahead on supply by a little bit somehow. But these overlords, why were you sitting there? No. Yeah, that's bad news. That's really bad news. That's like almost 1,000 minerals worth of overlords to just get. So, I don't know. Nerchio are not going to be able to make any units now. So that's not good. Now he's going to be trying to hold off this attack with a bunch of roaches, and he's going to be pulling off his drones off the line to try and deal with this. He's going to try and get a surround on these units. Will he be able to take these out? There's a whole bunch of stalkers left. Only one WhiteRa still floating in the air, and it's very low on health. That's going to be taken out. Only a few stalkers. Nerchio unable to make any reinforcements, and that's going to be the GG. So another really good victory from WhiteRa. And not much to really say there. I'd say Nerchio had spread out his defenses a little bit thin. He knew what was coming his way, and yet he only had like 2 queens in position. And then, of course, those force fields, man, were just so deadly. I mean, that's really what would put the nail in the coffin for Nerchio. And then, of course, again, he sacked his third, but once you lose all your overlords, you can't make any more units. So, hope you guys enjoyed that one, and let's move on to the next one.